Hi there, Tony from Adventure Africa, training and tours. We're going to have a look at something we've got amazing here from Wild Dog. They've given us a 12-ton advanced recovery kit. An important thing about choosing a recovery kit is 12 ton or 8 tons. If you're having a Land Cruiser or a car that's heavily laden with caravan, then suggested you go for something that's appropriate. 8 tons sometimes are good, but they might just be a bit weak if you're going to be looking at something like a Land Cruiser with a caravan. So if we had a look inside this kit, as you can see, it comes in a beautiful bag, well packed, and we have a few items which is of great importance. Now the most important one, of course, is gloves, for two reasons. One is it keeps your hands clean, and two, if there's anything sharp that's going to scratch or something, you don't get any lacerations on your hand. Now these are not designer gloves, and they're not there to make you look pretty. They are there to work, so they need to be able to think. So don't panic about how well they fit on you. So if we had to look through this kit, our first item that we'll have a look at is things called soft shackles. Now, soft shackle is a 3.5 ton rated soft shackle, and what's really nice about them is that they are simple and easy to use. They're light, very simple. Is you just undo the knot, switch it over the little knot there, and in theory it pulls tight, and that's your soft shackle. That's how simple these two work. There is an alternative to the soft shackle, and that would be the bow shackle as we know it. And this happens to be a 3.25 ton bow shackle. And the reason they call it a bow shackle is obviously because of the bow. It's nice and twisted here, a nice round circle. So in the event of the rope being on this end here, the pin end, this can still move up and down your car's brackets. Obviously some cars won't be able to fit the pin through, which means that the rope now has to come on this end. It's not a train smash, but ideally you want the rope on the pin end and this end on the vehicle, so that when you move it up and down. Another important thing about the bow shackle is, once you're fastening it, you put your rope on. Once you fasten it till it's tight, and one full turn loose again. And the reason for that is, when the rope is connected on the car, it's going to hang on the ground down. When the car that's recovering you, or you being recovered, the car will actually, remember, have a 3 ton stress on you. It will be holding this pin, and all this will do is to tighten up. So if this was tight, it will just tighten up more. You and I together will never lose this. So you see the guys coming back from Botswana with a cut rope coming back. So that's the bow shackle. And then we have another very important item here. And what really nice is about this Wild Dog kit is that everything is labeled. So if you're unsure of it, all you need to do is read what the label says. So in this instance, we have what they call a bridle. Remembering your car weighs anything, 3 tons to 3.5 tons. If you're stuck in mud or stuck in sand, you can multiply that by 3. So now suddenly you got yourself a 9 ton or a 7 ton car, which you're trying to recover. The biggest problem with most of us is we need to do it quickly. So what we want to do is we just hook it up onto one side of the recovery point and then drag the car out. What the bridle does is connect it to either points of your motor car at the recovery points and forms what they call an A-frame. So if you had a look at that, you see it's an A-frame type formation. And what I'm doing by recovering the car in the A-frame is that as I drag it, I'm now splitting the stresses to either side of the chassis. So all you do with this one is very simply just wrap it through the recovery ropes loop and fasten the two to the car. Brilliant. What we do have as well is a thing called a safety lanyard. Now this safety lanyard is there in the event of a rope snapping or a part of the motor car coming off. This is fastened to the motor car and this is fastened to the strip. When we do the full recovery course on the demonstration, we'll actually demonstrate how these work. But the theory behind this is that if the strap breaks, it will stop the strap from springing forward and hitting through the car. My problem with with most fitments is it's not the equipment that you're using as such as ropes, it's as who fastened the bull bar or who fastened the tow bar or the bumper to your car. What bolts did they use? Did they use the right tensions? That's the most important thing. And then, of course, another vital part that we all forget about, and we all talk, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, but we all do it still. And I see it daily on YouTube and daily on videos, is that we take this and we put it over the tow ball and then recover the car. Your first biggest problem with that is, number one, the tow ball is not designed for a linear strength. It's only designed for weight. So any snapping on that, if you look at the tow ball or the ball, it's actually round and then comes thin and then comes out again. That thinness of the tow ball is designed to break off. It's designed that. And what that will do, through your windscreen, through the body, through the back seats and out the back windscreen, that will kill you. So we've got two more ropes that's very important in the kit. And your choice is obviously which rope to use when. So this rope here, if we had a look at it, is what we call a 3-ton recovery strap. And when I say choosing the right rope, it's no good using a recovery strap in mud or sand, because what will happen is your car that's a recovery car is just going to wheel spin itself deeper into the mud. So you need to have something different. This rope is designed, once fastened to the car through the bow shackles or the soft shackles, once it's fastened to the car, is simply just take up the stress and just drag the car out. So the car being recovered will be in low range, it will be in first gear, you'll be in low range, you'll be in first gear, and all the two of you do, once you've communicated the fact that you're both ready to be pulled out, is slowly take up the strain and just pull the car out. However, when it comes to a different scenario, like in mud or thick sand, you need momentum to get this car out. So you need something different. And this is what we call a kinetic rope or a snatch rope, if you want to use those terms. Just out of interest, when I remembered you, they're all labeled. This is what they refer to as the birth certificate. The birth certificate will actually give you all the information you need. So what will happen is this rope normally is around about 9 meters long, because that's an optimal length of using a kinetic rope. Anything shorter, anything longer will cause a different scenario of usage. So you'll take this rope, fasten it onto the car that's been recovered via a bridle. Don't forget, that's very important, because you're going to put big stress on the car now. You'll fasten it onto the car that's going to recover, and then you reverse that car so that you have a 3-meter loop between you and the car that needs to be recovered. Once you've communicated the scenario, very, very simply, you must do it, because if he hasn't switched his car on, or if he's still got his handbrake on, all you're going to do is pull and go straight down into the sand. Once you've both agreed on a pattern and a method of communication, and you're both ready to go, the car being recovered will be in first gear low range, obviously. He will start helping you slowly to try and help. You will put your car in second gear low range, which means that you've got momentum. And that's where that 3 meters of loose rope is laying on the ground. That'll give you time to pick up momentum and go. This rope is an amazing piece of equipment. It's almost like an elastic band. So 9 meters long, it will take up the strain, it will actually stretch to 13 meters, and in theory, pop the car out that needs recovery. There's a sad part to the story though. If you do not recover the car the first time, you can do it again, but you're not going to get your 13 meters stretch. You're only going to get 11 meters. And after the third time, you're only going to get 9 meters. So which means that you should only use this rope 3 times to recover a car. If you haven't successfully recovered him in the first 3 attempts, you need another rope. So that's why it's important to have this kit in your car, because the main reason is, if you're driving along and you do get stuck, and I come along and you say to me, please help me, I'll recover you, only with pleasure, and it's really, really my pleasure to help you. Have you got a kinetic rope or a snatch rope to pull you out? And if you say no, my answer will be, you won't believe it, nor do I. Because I'm not going to use my rope on your car when I go another 100 meters down the road and I get stuck. Then I got a useless rope. Once you've used your ropes, you don't have to panic about it. You'll actually see how nice and supple this rope is at the moment. Once you've used it, you'll actually see it. It's got all the tension that you used in the snatch. It's built into, it's restored into the rope. So it takes around 24 hours to bring itself back to normal. So you don't have to throw it away. Just roll it up like normal, put it back in the bag, and in 24 hours time you can use it again. The other thing about these ropes, and this is quite an important one, as you can see, they're fairly loose strands, and what that happens to do is pick up a lot of sand and grit and rubbish and mud and stuff, and it's actually stored in there. So just a high pressure wash will be sufficient. Whatever you do, do not let the sun dry these ropes out. So once you've washed them, just put them in your garage, let them dry out on their own in their own time, and then they're good rolled up again and good for use for the next time. I've got my rope now, and I've lasted my rope has now lasted me 12 years, and I've done a lot of recoveries with it. So it's a good investment and a must investment if you're off-roading. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and we hope we'll catch you on the next one round. Cheerio.